Hi there, I am Adem Kirbas. I am here in Turkey. I am from Ordu. I'm here in Ordu. We are still in the pandemic. I hope you are all doing fine and that we will one day overcome this. However, this is my podcast and we will continue talking about millennials and the millennial cultural backdrop, which I think is very important to for us to understand, especially current occurrences as well as current developments within the poly, politics sphere as well as within the society. And today I thought about this. I mean, because the millennial age is a bit broad, and today I want to talk about feminism, especially feminism, how it is being viewed, or the woman feminism, especially of the women, how women are being viewed within the society in the millennial age. I will try to compare a little bit to the baby boomers, and this is especially a very crucial part. I mean, because sexuality. Um, I mean, I don't know how it is being, or it's said in that way. In Europe, the left is still comparing themselves to the baby boomer generation, or like we said, the 68er Bewegung in German. They, they pretty much idolized them. There's even a very, I have forgotten the name. I mean, I don't know. I have it with these names, or I forget names, but there was one author once who wrote that everyone who hates this baby boomer generation, this 68er Bewegung, this movement would be or should be considered as far right or conservative or whatever. I mean, I don't want to get into it. This was a German author or an author or a female author. I don't know. However, but these comparisons, they are very important, especially in Austria as well as in Germany, and I assume in Europe. However, and one huge issue where they say somehow they scored this for me double generation is especially sexuality, or you could say the LGBTQ community, and then sexuality, their view of feminism, uh, um, feminism scores on this movement or on baby boomers that they have adopted psychoanalysis, that they used psychoanalysis for their for Fremantle's sexual revolution, how it has been called, and we said that the, the sexual revolution actually started before this movement. You could some sort of already witness a change in sexual behavior among the working class because through the polarity, through those workers who came from all parts of the countries, and they were somehow in a way cramped together, and in this atmosphere female sexuality could not be hidden anymore. It was not it did not play behind closed doors anymore, so it was out in the open within the working class. There is actually a lot of literature about this as well. I mean, please note, even though I recommend reading books, I am no more in the University of Vienna. And this means because I am not a student anymore, I don't have any access to very important resources like JSTOR and so on. I mean, this is, even though I think the university is obsolete, nevertheless, access to those online magazines is is indeed very important. So if I cannot suggest you anything, or partially I don't remember the names anymore because in general I don't remember names. However, but I would some sort of recommend popular books which I think everyone should read. This is part of your knowledge you should have in your life. It doesn't matter whether you are left or right. Some things you should just read to broaden your horizon and understanding from the world, because nevertheless you have to be aware of one thing, that despite the fact that you may think that with some research is bias, let me uh, let me assuage you, well, it is, no matter who says otherwise. Every research is biased. Nevertheless, there's some sort of scientific approach to every research. So this means beyond being biased, there's always some information you can get which could help you to prosper, because one of the keys which I think is very important for success is understanding your opponent. This is what we are not talked of or not told often, but this is true, and it was always true. This is the more you understand your opponent or the people around you, the more you will be successful, the more you will be some sort of understanding. And despite in our age, and this is what we talked about in the last time, that there is some sort of shallowness within the society, which may be over exaggerated, but or not. But however, still you will have good chances in such a society which is superficially constructed, if you have some sort of a broader understanding of human psyche and human understanding. However, I want to talk about briefly the conditions which all started in and compare them. One thing we talked about in the past is that indeed feminists before, or in general the left, when they some sort of those baby boomers, this was a different age. This was after the two world wars. The people had seen atrocities of these wars. This is the grand society, and once you see these horrific crimes, it is indeed understandable that you seek some sort of broader understanding within the or morals, that you seek some sort of more morals within the society, or in general want to bring up your children with more in moral values. Remember that the Nazi Empire in Europe, some sort of, or in fascism in general, tried to raise a new human with new human values. The fascists in Italy under Mussolini started it. Then the National Socialists in Germany under Hitler, they copied it and took it farther. There's even one passage within Mein Kampf von Hitler, where he talks about to take away the child of a parent in a young age and then raise him with the party doctrine. So and you have to be aware of one thing, that the National Socialism, these Nazis, they actually wanted to weaken and partially erase Christianity, because of their view that Christianity would be a Jewish religion, and that they cannot, as good Germans worship a Jew. There's even some reports about some German soldiers, especially the SS, who, when they invaded France, they would immediately destroy crosses and so on. So and in this climate, it is indeed understandable this war generation tried to seek some values. So it is not all that we should not all go ahead and butcher them. It is indeed understandable, and like I said, you have to have understanding for this. And and this was not new. Pretty much the same happened in the French Revolution after the atrocities of the French Revolution. People actually cheered Napoleon when he signed the Concordat with the Vatican because they thought that the only way you can live in peace and prosper is through uh, the religion, through the church. And in France after the French Revolution, and while Napoleon took power, this actually was true. This was the beginning with 1801, those 2-3 years. This was very prosperous for France, so do not miss it. So it is understandable. This was not that people were just outright conservative pies or whatever. This was really, you could say, after this war, the effect of wars which had, and I said that Nazism, this was special. It was interesting in a way because, I don't want to talk in detail here about what Nazis had actually a very interesting view on woman and womanhood, which to this very day persists partially within the Austrian community and so on. And this view was actually that women would be the preserver of the society, of reproducing the society, and with them would come some moral values to maintain racial purity and so on. This is what still present within the society. You can some sort of grasp this because you have to be aware. This is not that because that there are so many racists. Not at all. You have to be aware that Nazism, these were not just, you would assume, some sort of stupid people or morons who just took over the state. It is rather, and this sadly enough, this was rather very sophisticated people. They were highly intelligent. They knew how to manipulate people, and they knew not only to manipulate but as well as to structure a new society. Like I said, Italian fascism was the role model. They watched it, observed it, and they improved it. This is what they did, and this is, with all its sadness, with all its atrocities and inhumanity, especially the Holocaust. Nevertheless, these were really perfidious people who knew how to manipulate people and whatsoever. But now we are talking about feminism here, and what's the difference. I want to say one thing, and this is because you hear it very often, that there would be no that 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 well, let's put it in a way, in other words, or let's put that way. Back in the days, feminism was not very popular, or was not in the institution. Now we talked about it, but now in the millennial age, feminism is indeed part of the society. So it is, despite the fact that there are some, I would say, useless debates whether there is a gender pay gap or not. Well, there is one. This is for a fact. There are a lot of statistics that there is a gender pay gap, and I think it does not make sense to justify this in a way or another. Even very good thinkers in our age some sort of lose themselves in this useless discussion. However, you have to be aware of one thing, that the millennials, they are better off, way better off, and this is very important to mention, because in the university, this is what I witnessed, that there are still